Hey everyone, welcome back to Lazyboy Crypto. I've made some videos about layer 1s recently, while today's video is about a layer 2. This one is all about Arbitrum, and if you don't know anything about this, well, it is a layer 2 scaling solution for Ethereum, but they've not yet released their token. Hopefully that is coming sometime this year. People love Arbitrum. It has some great technology, so people are very excited for this one. So if you don't know anything about Arbitrum, then please stick around and learn some more about it. And if you're not yet subscribed, then please do so that you can be updated as soon as I post more videos in the future. So let's get to it. This is an overview of Arbitrum. Arbitrum is a layer 2 scaling solution for Ethereum, which aims to increase the transaction processing capacity of the Ethereum network. So like other layer 2s, it works by allowing transactions to be processed off-chain in a separate layer while still maintaining the security and integrity of the underlying Ethereum network. And so this results in faster, cheaper, and more efficient transactions, allowing for increased scalability and reduced congestion on the main Ethereum network, which is something we've all experienced. Now, Arbitrum uses something called optimistic rollups in order to scale transactions. In an optimistic rollup, transactions are processed and settled off-chain in a trustless manner, meaning that no single party has control over the transaction processing. So all that's normal, the way transactions are processed by a set of validators. But with Arbitrum, when transactions are processed, an optimistic assumption is made that the transaction will eventually be added and confirmed on the main Ethereum network. So this allows for transactions to be processed faster off the main chain. And in the event that an incorrect transaction is processed, the validators can challenge it and they can roll it back as well as if it never happened. So basically, Arbitrum doesn't require Ethereum nodes to process every transaction. Instead, an optimistic approach is taken. Transactions are assumed to be correct. And if a violation occurs, then it can be rolled back. So this is how Arbitrum is able to utilize Ethereum security while also scaling transactions. They just assume they're all correct, so they all keep getting processed. Transactions are assumed to be correct and are added to the Ethereum blockchain. If a violation occurs, that's when the transaction is looked at and can be disputed. The team behind Ethereum is focused on building secure, efficient, scalable solutions for Ethereum, with improving the overall user experience and adoption of decentralized applications. They specialize in blockchain technology, cryptography, and computer science. So how do Arbitrum transactions actually work? Well, transactions are actually submitted in batches onto the L1, and batches offer significant savings over posting individual transactions. It also means that when batches are put onto the L1, they're done so in a compressed manner, and this lowers the L1's overall footprint, making it more efficient. So someone making a transaction on Arbitrum, it's actually the sequencer that receives it first and begins the process. So the sequencer will order the transaction in its off-chain inbox, it will execute it via the Arbitrum virtual machine, and it will instantly give a transaction receipt to the user. And it's the sequencer that will post batches of these L2 transactions onto the underlying L1, onto Ethereum. Okay, but how does Arbitrum compare to other layer 2 scaling solutions, you might be wondering? Well, Arbitrum, it has several unique features and advantages. So for example, Arbitrum is fully compatible with the existing Ethereum ecosystem, which means that existing dApps and smart contracts can be easily ported over to the Arbitrum network. Also, Arbitrum uses a unique, secure, multi-party computation technology, and that allows for trustless, secure, and efficient off-chain transactions. Okay, but what about Arbitrum versus Polygon? Polygon is very popular. It's also a layer 2 scaling solution for Ethereum. The main difference is that Arbitrum works as a layer 2. It sits right above the Ethereum layer 1, and it utilizes Ethereum's security, Ethereum's consensus, whereas Polygon is an independent sidechain running parallel to Ethereum. It has its own proof of stake consensus mechanism to secure the network, whereas Arbitrum, like I said, it uses Ethereum's. Now Arbitrum, as I said before, it's fully compatible with Ethereum and existing dApps. They can actually easily port over to the Arbitrum network Polygon, on the other hand, operates as a separate network connected to Ethereum via a bridge, which allows for interoperability between networks, but something this isn't as secure as a layer 2 that actually sits above the layer 1. Now, Arbitrum and Polygon, they both aim to increase the scalability and efficiency of Ethereum, but they approach it in different ways. The technology is one of those ways that they do that. Some people think that the security of Polygon is not as good as Arbitrum because it is independent and it operates via a bridge, whereas Arbitrum, it uses Ethereum's underlying security. Now, you may have heard of ZK rollups. It's something that Loopring uses. I've talked about Loopring before. So there are some differences between ZK rollups and optimistic rollups, which is what Arbitrum uses. And the main difference, it lies in the way that they secure and verify the off-chain transactions. Now, optimistic rollups, they rely on a system of validators who act as guardians of the security and integrity of the blockchain. When a transaction is processed off-chain, a so-called optimistic assumption is made that the transaction will eventually be included in the main blockchain and that it is a valid transaction. In the event that an incorrect transaction is processed, the validators can challenge it and have it rolled back. ZK rollups, on the other hand, they use something called zero-knowledge proofs to secure and verify off-chain transactions. These proofs are cryptographic proofs that allow for the validation of transactions without revealing any underlying details or information. And this allows for transactions to be processed and verified off-chain in a secure and trustless manner without the need for validators or other trusted parties. So both optimistic rollups and ZK rollups, they have their own advantages and disadvantages. In general, ZK rollups offer stronger security guarantees as the use of ZK proofs ensure that the off-chain transactions are secure and tamper-proof. But ZK rollups, they are more complex and more intensive than optimistic rollups, which may impact their overall efficiency and performance. Users on other chains can interact with Arbitrum yield farming, compounding, staking, etc. So there you have it. That was an overview of Arbitrum. It's very technical, and I could have gone into more detail, but I didn't want to because talking about technology like that can be very boring. But I hope you've learned a little bit more about Arbitrum. And if you haven't, then go ahead and read their white paper, check it out for yourself. You can also use it right now in DeFi, you can use the bridge, go and explore Arbitrum because it is a great ecosystem.